That's gonna hurt.
It's a Dean. It's a Dean. Paul Dean. But I'm dressed like Mike Reno, sort of. I make gold records, man. Hey everybody, welcome back to the music snob, where I know music, unless it sucks. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. It's relative. I just gotta take a second. Please, if you like the video, but if you can make it past 35 seconds, and if you get to the end of the video, please like, please subscribe, please tell your friends. Enjoy the music snob. The whole point of this channel, for me, is to bring up maybe some artists that either you haven't heard of, or maybe they didn't get the respect they deserved back in olden times when they were actually popular, or perhaps people misjudged them, say, oh, they just play too many ballads or something. I want to talk about some of those things. Plus, I do, the easy licks.
Easy licks.
And I have the odd thing where it's Blair's record collection.
Blair's
I like to do
record
musical
collection.
stuff. I used to be a musician. I wasn't very good. Obviously, I'm not doing it anymore. So what I want to do with the channel is just focus on music. So if it's me trying to teach you a terrible a guitar lick somehow, or showcase one of my millions of instruments back here, that's what this is all about. And today's special edition. No, it's not really that special. We're talking about Loverboy. So I'm sure if you know the name Loverboy, and you're not talking about that movie back in the 80s, you have heard this song. You gotta know that. You know this is Turn Me Loose, don't you? What is wrong with, if you don't know this before he even starts singing this, before the guitar even kicks in, you should know Turn Me Loose. And if you don't know this, I'm sorry. If you don't know Working for the Weekend, have you ever even had a job? What is it? Come on. You have to know this just from some jackass with a cowbell, and I'm not talking about Christopher Walken, should know Working for the Weekend. But I really want to test. I want to test your Loverboy knowledge, and I'm going to play you this song. Do you know this song? No, you don't know this one. And you should. You really should. When there's a good Loverboy song, well, all Loverboy songs, they're good. There's no way you know this. You don't know this. You don't know this. Let's sink in. Hey, Blair, that don't sound like Mike Reno to me. You know why? It's frickin' Paul Dean singing. Are you seriously? Are you a Loverboy fan? You didn't know that Paul Dean sang? Well, he sang one song. But then he had a solo album, which I did a thing about, and I'll put a link up here if you care. Paul Dean had a solo album. We'll talk about it later. Now, do you know this song? How big a Loverboy fan were you? Do you wear leather pants and a bandana? That's Mike Reno. Okay, maybe you don't know, but that's Love Will Rise Again. Okay, now, if you don't know those last two songs, then you and me, you and I, the two of us, we should go on what I like to call a musical journey. So get your camel, you can have a donkey, I don't care, an elephant, old pickup truck, get your quad, get your boat, Calling a musical journey with the old buddy Blair here at the Music Stop, and we're going to listen to some Loverboy and talk about what a great band these guys are. Because right now they're opening up for Sammy Hagar on the Best of All Worlds tour, and you need a refresher before you go see Loverboy. And I'm sure they're going to be at a I don't know, a nightclub or a rodeo or something this summer near you. So you need to remember how awesome Loverboy is. Loverboy was actually formed in Calgary, even though people were from other places. Mike Reno was a vocalist in Calgary, but he had joined a band. There was a band called Moxie, and I'll put that up, that had some big songs in the South, I guess. And their singer had left. Mike Reno took over for a while. Then he quit, and he was running around Calgary when he ran into some guys. Paul Dean, that guy, not that guy. Paul Dean. I don't want to get mistaken here. And Matt Frenette, the drummer, were in a band called Streetheart with a guy named Spider Sinave, who we're going to talk about later. And they left Streetheart after one album and decided to form their own band. I guess Paul Dean had some kind of a talent management deal with Lou Blair, and we'll talk about that in a second. But they decided to start this band. So Paul Dean, Matt Frenette, Mike Reno, Doug Johnson on keyboards, and then a guy named a guy named Jim Clench played bass. And Jim Clench, you should know that guy's name as well, because he went on to join April Wine, where he actually was he sang a couple of bigger songs for April Wine. Anyways, they had some kind of a thing. They moved to Vancouver. They had their management deal with Lou Blair. Lou Blair was a partner with Bruce Allen. You got to know that name. And he's like, yeah, you guys got the shit. I don't know. Somehow he finagled them an opening slot to open for Kiss at the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver. That was their opening gig. They weren't playing bars. They weren't playing like bar mitzvahs or anything like that, or rodeos. They opened up for Kiss. That's their first show. And then for some reason, Jim Clench, gone. They got Scott Smith to play bass. And Loverboy was formed. And Loverboy, after 4 hard months of slugging away and rehearsals, whatever, they started recording their first album. They got a record deal that quick. Because sometimes it's a package. You know, the management, they can go, we know these guys are going to sell. We know they got the goods, and they didn't have to prove themselves in the nightclubs, luckily. You know what? Before I continue, I want to talk about the Loverboy name. Okay, now this is the story I heard. Not like I know anybody in the band. We're not friends. I know a guy who knows a guy, and I've met some people. Does anybody care? Anyways, Loverboy. So they were hanging out one night. I don't know, they were just hanging out with their girlfriends or whatever. And the girls were looking at some magazines, and they saw a CoverGirl ad. And they went, CoverGirl! What a great name for a band!
No!
And then they went, how about Coverboy? So, Baldini goes to bed. He has himself a little dream. And for some reason in his dream, this is the story I heard. In his dream, he decided, Loverboy! And a great band name was called. So 1980, first album, Loverboy, comes out. 2 million in the US alone. So big hit right off the bat. Produced by Bruce. I'm going to call these guys the Dream Team, because nobody knew who these guys really were yet. Bruce Fairbairn. Look at that guy. Who Bruce Fairbairn had, he also had produced for Bon Jovi, AC/DC, Aerosmith. Everybody, look into your liner notes of your favorite albums. That guy's probably produced it. He also had Bob Rock was learning to engineer. Bob Rock was around Vancouver. I'll do a thing about Bob Rock at some point, but you know who Bob Rock is. So he was engineering, and a guy named Mike Fraser, whose name is on a ton of stuff. AC/DC albums, The Cult, Chickenfoot, Van Halen, Mike Fraser. I'm calling these guys a dream team. So Bruce Fairbairn, Bob Rock, and Mike Fraser produced, engineered, mixed this album. It was just right off the bat, awesomeness. Okay. They opened for ZZ Top. They opened for Cheap Trick. They played gigs all over. And you know what? I already wrecked this. Now, I already played you 2 huge hits, and like nobody's calling him a one-hit wonder, but I really only hear like 2 songs on the radio, Working for the Weekend and Turn Me Loose, ever. But nobody, you ever hear this on the radio? Again, you don't even need to hear the vocal. The kid is hot tonight. Take it away, Mike. It was a brand new way 45 years ago. Think about that. Let that sink in. 1980 was 4 years ago. Do you need to hear more of this? Now, this album, it wasn't the best album, but it had really hot singles on it. So besides the fact that you already had The Kid Is Hot Tonight, you had Turn Me Loose. But do you know this one? I'm going to play this one. Also on the album, not the hit that the other ones were, but a great little filler song, always on my mind. Just listen to that tone on Paul Dean's guitar. How is he not considered a rock god? He had the hair. Was she though? Do you know this one? You should know this one. Yeah, I'm just going to let that one, I'm going to let that go. And we're going to continue. So, right out of the bat, 1980, their original Loverboy album, 2 million in the US. I don't know how many worldwide. But a year later, Get Lucky comes out. And look at that album cover. Okay, now, is it for me to talk about this? I'm just going to ruin this for your life. Okay, that ain't Mike Reno's ass. It never was. They thought it'd be great to have some. Well, he wore those kind of pants all the time. Like, I know that. We all know that. And his little headbands, whatever. That's not his. The photographer, they bought a pair of pants, and nobody in the band could fit it. And the photographer's daughter. Do you feel sick about yourself now? The photographer's daughter could fit in the pants. So it's the photographer's daughter's butt up there. I don't know whose hand it is. It doesn't matter. Anyways, this album, Get Lucky, 4 million in the US alone. God knows how many that's the rest of the planet. They were opening for Journey in their heyday. Of course, the Dream Team worked on this one. Paul Dean, that song I played earlier, Emotional. Paul Dean did vocals on that one. And I didn't know that until I had his album, which we'll talk about that. Paul Dean had an album. I did a thing. We talked about it in Blair's
record collection.
Incredible album. He did a couple songs after this. Anyways, produced, mixed, engineered by the Dream Team. Once again, Bruce Fairbairn, Bob Rock, Mike Fraser. Had Working for the Weekend, and we don't need this back. But do you remember When It's Over? Do you remember this one? I never hear this on the radio, and this was such a great tune. You know, for a hard rock band, and they got an incredible keyboard player, so you can go back and forth, and opening bass licks sometimes, like on Turn Me Loose. I'm not a dancer. If you saw the Nickelback video, obviously. When It's Over. How was this? Like, this was a hit. I know it was a hit. I remember it being a hit. Why isn't it played now? This should be played more. Call your local congressman. Your MLA. Ask them to play this more on the radio. I gotta skip a bit. Here we go. Oh, no. It's like a minute and a half build. I don't know much about their personal lives. I hope whoever that was with him when it was over. Because it was over at some point. Okay, I'm gonna play one more off this album, and this song, it's called Jump. And the reason I'm playing this, besides the fact it's a kick-ass song, this is a Bryan Adams Jim Vallance song. One of the first ones they did for Loverboy. Loverboy did a couple of Adams Vallance tunes, and then co-wrote with Adams. But this is a great freaking tune. And again, great build, and then Mike Reno comes in. Woo! Maybe not. Great keyboard piece. And then you got the guitar in there. Is that not a great tune? I think it is. Now, if those songs weren't, if that wasn't enough for you to buy it, how about this? Another great little guitar piece and the keyboard in there. This is Lucky Ones, which, well, wasn't the album title, but somehow in my head I had that connected. But it makes sense. What a bunch of great tunes. Like, no wonder it sold 4 million. See if it gets to a bridge yet. It does. Who were the lucky ones, Mike? Were they the backstage girls? I don't know. But come on. What a great album. What a great album. This time there was a 2-year gap between the second and third album. 1983. Keep it up. 2 million in the US again. So another, well, that's a pretty good hit. 1983. Hot Girls in Love. It's Never Easy. You know what? I'm playing some of these. Hot Girls in Love. Do you ever hear this on the radio? Because nobody wants ugly chicks in it. I feel bad just having said that. I'm sorry. My apologies for your family. And again, you know, the guitar piece, the keyboards in there. Now, you know what, I gotta mention this. Some of their songs kind of are like, I used to make fun of Nickelback for writing things in a different perspective to make it rhyme. And Loverboy does a lot of their stuff like that. So they often have bridges that really don't have a lot to do with the rest of the song. But who cares? It sounds cool. It's a great tune. And you know what? I'm playing. This would be, I'm going to say, one of the first big ballads that they had. A great keyboard piece. You never hear this on the radio. You might hear that almost, was it Almost Paradise? It was Mike Reno with Ann Wilson. And when they got some of that soundtrack money, they were trying to get some of the ballad money, I guess, too. It's got a great build. And again, the keyboard. Okay, come on. Kick it in, pal. Come on. Spotlight down. Did you not? Well, if you're old, have you danced this at your prom? You should have. That's a great tune. Like that's just how I feel. How about Queen of the Broken Hearts? How about that one? And again, this album had the Dream Team once again. Fairbairn. Am I saying right? Fairbairn. Fairbairn. Bob Rock. Mike Fraser. You can't just pull songs like this out of your ass. You need a great Dream Team. And it's, well, the Queen of the Broken Hearts. It's a great song. This was a huge hit. And the video was cool. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Just such great choruses, great verses, great. They have bridges on most of their songs. It starts here. It goes up here. And that's just the bridge. That's not even the chorus yet, because now. What a great tune. Like, what a great tune. Great songs. Great album. And then, 1985. 2 more years to do this. Loving every minute of it. 2 million more in the U.S. alone. Guest appearances. Ray McGuire. Do you remember him? Trooper, another great Canadian band out of Vancouver. Trooper, Here for a Good Time, Raise a Little Hell. You've heard it. You've heard it. Even if you're not from Canada, you've probably heard it. He did some backup vocals. Tommy Thayer of Kiss was doing backups in this one. Bruce Fairbairn, unfortunately, was busy doing, because it got so good, he didn't have time for this one. So they got Tom Allum to produce it. Tom Allum, he worked with Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, and Def Leppard. So it had, again, it wasn't the Dream Team, but it had the pedigree, because you had special guests. And not only that, but your first single was written by, of course, Mutt Lange. Robert John Mutt Lange. And this is the song. Top 10. Well, I didn't even mention it. They've had other top 10s. They had other hits. But you don't hear this one as much as you should. Special guest in the video. I don't know. I honestly don't even know what the song's about. It's just about a party, right? Oh, sorry. Pretending to play guitar. Sorry. I'm sure he was. Because did you notice there? Okay, let's just put that up here. In the video, I'll put a little clip of it here. He's sticking his hand. Now, okay. I'm sorry about the Me Too movement. But men are horrible. We've always been. And I hope the world is better for ladies now. Don't whine about me being woke. I don't want to hear it. You just don't walk up to a girl and you stuck your hand in her top. But he did, and that girl was Jenna Lee Harrison. Do you remember her? Do you remember her just in the video? This girl was a huge TV star. She, the Loverboy video. She was on Three's Company. She was on Dallas. She was huge. And it's like, I'll do the Loverboy video. Yeah, you want to tuck $1 down my top? Yeah, I'll do that. Now, I said before, they like that ballad money. So that they had to put a good ballad on each album after that. This Could Be the Night. Great song. It was a huge hit. So they could prove we could do ballads. We could do really good rock songs. We could open for Kiss 20 years ago. We can open for, like, we're a great opening act. And I'm sure they headlined their own thing for quite a while. Great band, huge in Canada, huge everywhere. I'll shut up for a second. No, it's too much to ask in that. Ask any girl, she'll say, make it last forever. I'm gotta skip a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let's go for the build. How can a guy with a headband and those leather pants be uninspired? Again, should have danced to this at the prom. Hit that special lady. Okay, you know what? Again, I wish I could play these whole. I'm just playing little bits, little snips and bits, because I want you to get a taste. Because I'm pretty sure you can find either a greatest hits album or their first 5-6 albums, whatever, because they were great. Now I'm gonna play you. I'm gonna play this one. This I think it was a single, but it's a little weird. Oh, and there's your bass guy hanging out. Here, I'll just put this here for a second. Make the song cool. Keyboards. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Scott. And, of course, there's Paul. I never mentioned Matt Furnett. Matt Furnett! You're the best! Matt Furnett is like the go-to drummer in Canada. He played Red Rider. I'm sure I've seen him with Kim Mitchell at some point. Tom Cochran doing his own thing. Loverboy. Guy's incredible. And here's Mike trying to do a baritone. Have you heard this song before? Okay, I gotta skip ahead. Because when it gets to that chorus, you know, it's like almost early rapish, because he's so quick what he's saying. Now, come on, that's a great song. Especially if it was, I believe it was a single. But even if it was just filler, it's pretty good. And I'm gonna play it. This was another Adams Family song. Dangerous, big hit in Canada. I don't know the rest of the world, but great song. Guitar, a little offset, upbeat. The keyboards and what I love about the guitar has that dirt, and the keyboard together has this great tone together. It's called the concert. Sorry, they're income. You can just tell it's an Adams Family tune. You just know it. If you didn't know it, you would. Okay, is it building? It's building. Of course it's building. There certainly was. Okay. That's fine. You remember the song? You know, I got to do it. Sometimes a little bit of weird trivia is interesting. Probably not in this case. Sounds a little different, doesn't it? Wow. Feedback much? Okay, now I said, Bryan Adams, Jim Vallance wrote the song. This was originally called Reckless for the Reckless Bryan Adams album. And somehow Bryan Adams was like, it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. But Loverboy could do it. And they did it better. They did it better. Like, it's close, but I'm going to skip ahead. Yeah, we're going to, just to see the difference right here. You see, Dangerous sounds better, doesn't it? Now, Bryan Adams had maybe clean that up a bit. It would have been great too, but you can't deny that Loverboy did it better. Now, these guys were on the cusp, I would say, because Mike Reno, Ann Wilson, that Almost Paradise was a hit. They had a couple of ballads that were big, and then 86, was it 86? 86 on the Top Gun soundtrack, Heaven in Your Eyes, ballad extraordinaire. The only thing about this, Doug Johnson, keyboard player, did not appear in the video because he thought Top Gun glorified war. But I'm sure he took the money. Let's skip ahead. And again, great for the prom. If I had a lighter, it'd be. Oh man, they were on the cusp. They were on the cusp. They were ready to take over the world. 1987, Wild Side came out. The Dream Team was back. They were co-writing songs with Richie Sambora and John Bon Jovi. They had another co-write with Bryan Adams. This song was gonna be huge. And Notorious comes out. I remember them being on American Bandstand, and Mike Reno was up there pretending this is not a hot dog, it is not a corn cob. He was pretending to play the harmonica part, which he blatantly was not. But this song, I love this song. No, not Notorious, not the Duran Duran. But like I said, co-written, John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, incredible keyboard piece. Guitars sound great. Matt Burnett's a god. This album only sold 500,000 in the States. I don't know what happened. It was the best album they did. I'm going to play a bunch of songs off this and just little bits of it. And you tell me. What's wrong with this? This had hit written all over the place. I want to talk about this. I don't understand because Notorious and all the other stuff already that we're talking about. The video for this was directed by David Fincher, who did Fight Club. Eventually, he hadn't done it yet. Seven. I don't know what happened. Like, this album was just loaded. Like, this should have been another huge top 10 single that's still played on the radio today, but it's not. Just break it to me gently. Tell me this isn't awesome. You convince me. between the keyboard, again, the keyboard, guitar, the drums are great. And then how is this not a hit song? Okay, skip it ahead. Okay, here we go. How is this not a hit? This is a great song. Why, have you bought this album? Wild Side. Buy it. Don't just get the greatest hits. Get this whole album. I played a little bit of Love Will Rise Again. That was one of the ones I played earlier. But that's another great song. That was 3 big songs right there. Should have been huge. This is another one, co-written with Bryan Adams. Hometown Hero. Another unmistakably great tune. And somehow you probably, I don't think you know this. And great driving songs, you know? Oh, I can hear Scott Smith right now. This would be like a hockey song or something. Oh, you tell me that's not a great song? Okay, I'm gonna play one more. This song had like 12, or this album had like 12 great tunes. I should do this as a Blair's record collection.
Blair's record collection.
Don't Keep Me in the Dark. It's the last song in the album. I think it was a bonus track if you bought the CD. That's, you remember CDs? You remember physical media? Do you remember that? I do, and I liked it. You know what? I'm turning this down. I got to tell you. Is that low enough? Let's discuss this, shall we? That was such a great album, and unfortunately, that led to their breakup because it essentially a tank, like 500,000 copies. Oh no, that's like that's what we wanted. But they were doing 2, 2, 4, 4, 2, whatever, and then this 500,000 copies, and they had some fights. They broke up. The band broke up in 1988. Paul Dean did 3 solo albums, and again, do I even need to put it up? I'll put it up. The other times I lied. I'm putting it up right here. Paul Dean on my record collection.
Blair's record collection.
Talked about Wild Side or Hardcore. One of my favorite albums. Incredible album. And who knew that Paul Dean could sing so well? Mike Reno had a solo album that didn't get released for quite a while. But they did a reunion a couple years later to play a benefit concert for Brian McLeod, Brian McLeod was an incredible musician from Vancouver area. Played in Chilliwack, played Headpins. Great writer, great producer, everything. This guy was just all around incredible. And he unfortunately passed away from cancer. These guys did a benefit concert for him, and they got back together. I'm going to turn this off now. Where am I? There it is. And they liked playing together so much that they started touring again. And they were playing again. They were doing a bunch of tours. And here's the saddest part of this. In 2000, November 2000, Scott Smith, the bass player, was sailing around San Francisco Bay, which to me would be a great day. And unfortunately, a wave came over and it took him under. And they never found him. So, if you remember the start of this thing, I said that Paul and Matt had played in Street Art with a guy named Spider Sinave, who I also mentioned on another video. When is a band no longer a band and just brand name? If you remember that, there's a link. He's the only guy left from Street Art. But he's also been in Loverboy for 24 years now. So it's the core four guys again. So it's Paul Dean, Mike Reno still, Doug Johnson on keyboard, Matt Fernand on drums. But on bass, Spider Snave has been playing for 20 some years. So Spider Snave, again, like I said, Matt Fernand was a go-to drummer. Spider is the guy. He plays also Red Rider. He played in the Guess Who. They performed. They performed. I don't know. You remember a show called Hit Me Baby One More Time? What an original title. There's a show where they brought back what they claim were one-hit wonders or whatever, bands from 20 years ago, and they played one more song just to show we still got it. And they'd give some money to charity. And they competed against A Flock of Seagulls and Tiffany, and none of those ones won. And I already forgot who won. It was nobody I'd ever heard. But I remember seeing them. They're pretty cool. And Tiffany's touring. Flock of Seagulls are going. I don't know who the other two people were. I've released a few albums over the years, and I don't want to. I'm not going to say they're good songs, but I don't want to sully the memory. It's like Van Halen to me, that last album, Different Kind of Truth, kind of took away from all the great classics that they did. So I'm not going to play anything off of the more recent albums because they're not as good for my taste. I don't want to sully their memory because Loverboy in their heyday was one of the best rock bands going. They have a ton of great, just I'll list off the songs that I could think of right now. Besides, okay, let's just skip the last album. On The Kid Is Hot Tonight, Turn Me Loose, Always on My Mind, Working for the Weekend, When It's Over, Jump, Lucky Ones, Hot Girls in Love, It's Never Easy, Queen of the Broken Hearts, One Sided Love Affair. I didn't play that. Loving Every Minute of It. There's a song called Friday Night I should have played. This Could Be the Night, Lead a Double Life, Dangerous, Almost Paradise. Well, I'm sure they do it, even though it was Mike and Ann. Heaven in Your Eyes. And then Wild Side had 5 or 6 great songs on it. Now, classic band. Why aren't they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? They can put crap in there. I don't even want to get into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But anyway, everybody knows Loverboy. You know at least one song. And right now, they're on tour, opening for Sammy Hagar. I think they're going to be doing another tour of amphitheaters and rodeos, probably, and fairs. After that, they're always on the road. They're always getting her done, making it happen. Check them out. Loverboyband.com for tour dates. Maybe you can buy some music. Loverboy Band Official on YouTube. You want to see any of the videos? Look up the Lovin' Every Minute. Well, I put a little bit of it up. Oh, a second. Watch the videos. I didn't say they're good actors. Anyway, if you've made it this far, and I honestly don't know how long this is yet. I hope it's not another 45 minutes. If you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like. Please subscribe. And as always, I would love it if Cher actually saw this and what a jackass. Please share, because Cher is a treasure. Leave a comment, as always. If you know something about Loverboy, I don't. Maybe you like some of the older or the newer stuff that came out in the last 20 years. You want to talk about that? Leave a comment. We can talk about it. But as always, please don't be a dick. But thanks for watching.
It's the music snob.
And I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I hope you'll come back, or whatever it is. Click on another one. Just click on another one. Enjoy my terrible guitar lessons on
Easy Licks.
Or check out one of my records from my record collection.
Where's record collection?
But thanks for watching.
Bye.